Yeah, that's yes, of course. The time would have made it, a bit later than previously. How are you?
Yeah, doing very well. It's like I'm talking into the future right now. You know,
Yeah.
how is tomorrow?
How it's tomorrow? Well, it's quite a nice day here. I have no idea what you're gonna have, but it's all right, gentlemen. It's 1 minute past 10. I'm sure a few people will be joining while we get going, but I'll pass over to you and all the very best.
Yeah, Philip, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I think most of you are in Australia, if not all of you. It's evening here. Yesterday, I'm talking to tomorrow. Hope tomorrow's a good day. Welcome. I'm here in Utah and the American Southwest. My name's Chris. I am the technical trainer here at our headquarters. We're headquartered here in Salt Lake City. I will be hosting and leading our webinar today. We have several of our ClearOne representatives. I see Griffiths. I see Jim Mergens here in the US. Griffiths is in Dubai. We also have as co-hosts Dave Lambert. He's, Dave, I'll let you introduce yourself. And we also have Ryan Turner on the call here at our headquarters as well.
Sure, yeah. So, like Chris said, I'm Dave Lambert. I'm VP over Pro Audio in the engineering group. So I mainly work with the engineering team, and been here for quite a few years, developing product and always trying to make it better. So looking forward to this.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Ryan.
Yep. Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Turner. Been with ClearOne for a number of years, 24 years or so. Been in technical support, engineering, sales, kind of covered the bases, but I'm here to answer any questions on product that you might have.
Yeah, very good. So we have a really experienced and competent team here supporting our call. As I said, I'll be leading the presentation. What you might expect, we do have an hour booked here. We have a slide deck that I'll be working through that should last about 30 minutes. We'll do a 15-minute demonstration. I'm here in our demo space. It doubles as a lab and a training space as well. So anyway, I'll show you that. We'll get to experience and hear and see the things that we talk about in this presentation. And then the last 15 minutes will be for any Q&A. And I think Philip will be managing the Q&A. There is a Q&A button that you'll see up at the top. So just if you have questions, you can just go ahead and drop those in. And I'd really, we lead these demos all the time. I'd like for this to be an informal event. Feel free to jump in with a question. Probably your mic is muted. I can take you off of mute if you want to do that. So anyway, let's just go ahead and jump in. I will start our slide deck. All right. And I'm almost there. Just doing a little setup here. All right. Very good. As I said, my name is Chris. One of our technical trainers. I work here at our headquarters. Now, ClearOne, our deck here will kind of start with an introduction of who we are. It might be an introduction for you or a reintroduction. The company has certainly evolved and changed over the years. We have a whole suite of new products that we're unrolling. It's even can be tough to keep up with sometimes. So it's an exciting time at ClearOne. You can see here in these bullet points, kind of maybe the three main points that we want to discuss. Simplifying pro audio. Oh, that sounds great. Things can get complex. We'll step through how ClearOne is aiming to, sort of handle some of that complexity and simplify your life as either a pro AV or IT integrator or VAR. Okay. Point 2, addressing wireless microphone deployment challenges. Yeah, I'm a trainer. We step through the wireless systems. That can be complex, absolutely. So we'll discuss a little bit of that today. And then finally, seamless connectivity and AV management. We have some really great tools to kind of pull these different components together to manage this technology even remotely. Okay. Now, as I go through these, I want to kind of wrap all of this inside of the idea of, ClearOne as, having a legacy and a history of being an innovator and a problem solver. So hopefully, as I'm plugging along in these different points and we're working our way through the presentation, hopefully I'm always kind of steering in that direction of us being able to solve problems. All right, so first off, we'll just start with ClearOne as a company. Who are we? We are a publicly traded company. We're on the NASDAQ. You can go find us there. We offer market leadership in installed audio conferencing. We are a global company. We have R&D sites on 3 different continents. We here in the US, in Utah here, as well as Florida. In Zaragoza, Spain, we have an office, and in Chennai, in Eastern India, we have an office as well. Okay, now what do we do? Well, audio and video collaboration, that will really be the focus of what we're discussing today. We also do AV networking. In regards to audio conferencing, the gold standard, what we're always striving for, is intelligibility. You must be able to understand anyone in that meeting space. We want to send nice, natural sounding, clear audio to the far end. As for video collaboration, we're really, in that case, talking about cameras. We have a great array of cameras. You're seeing me right now on our Unite 20 camera. That's just a nice little webcam. We also have AI-enabled ePTZ cameras as well as optical PTZ cameras, and we'll step through those through our presentation. Now, we have lots of great competition out there. Why would you choose ClearOne? Well, state-of-the-art technology. Absolutely. We are delivering that crystal clear sound. We want everyone to be heard in any meeting space. We offer solutions to cover an office with just a basic personal speakerphone, all the way up to a fully scaled large training room. And I'll show you some examples of that later. A comprehensive and complete product range. All right. We manufacture and sell cameras, DSPs, loudspeakers, microphones, collaboration software. We make our own software for programming. We're really trying to give you a complete portfolio that the company strives to create an all-inclusive solution for you. And with these systems, we'll offer you the expertise and support that you'll need. That includes through training. I'm a trainer. We offer lots of trainings. Those are free, they're remote. You can sign up for them at your convenience. We have tech support upstairs, as well as in India, to meet different time zones. We have lots of support for you. I know Terry, he's another technical trainer. He offers our first project assist. So your first deployment with ClearOne, he will help step you through how to do that and offer technical support. So we have a lot of means of supporting you out there in the field. Now, our channels, okay? Our channel sales structure looks like this. ClearOne sells to AV and IT distributors and dealers who thereby work with AV and IT VARs and integrators. Then they work with the end customers, and then we mix in consultants as well. So our channel value, our gear works together. It is a cohesive ecosystem, as I said before. It's easy to install and easier all the time. We're going to talk about that a lot here in a few minutes. And we are top shelf, second to none. All right, for our integrators and our VARs, we're offering more profitable design and installation, which is going to require less support. We're there to support you if you need the support, but through our training and our first project assist programs and things like this, you really shouldn't need a lot beyond that. All right, and end customer satisfaction. I'll do, like I said, a demo a little bit later on. You'll be able to see the cameras, see the functionality, hear the systems. Our customers end up being very pleased. All right, now let's talk a little bit about ClearOne's history. It is rather illustrious. It's interesting to learn about. So where did it begin? 1983, we were called Gentner Communications, starting with the digital hybrid device. That was actually a pro audio device and radio stations. We call it was hybrid because the studio audio was blended with someone calling in to request a song, or maybe it's a talk show, something like that. So that caller could call in, and we were able with that system to mitigate and eliminate the echo. All right, a few years later, 1998, the Audio Perfect, the industry's first distributed echo canceller. And we're not going to get too technical here in this presentation, but we've all heard acoustic echo. You've heard it on your cell phone. If you hear your voice coming into your ear at a delay, it's very annoying. No one likes to hear that. And what do? You just say, I'm going to hang up and hope for a better connection. I'll call you right back. Okay, well, that's what we were talking about here with acoustic echo and the AEC canceller. Now, when we're talking about distributed echo cancellation, we're talking about that device, that technology for each microphone in the room. All right, and that tends to work very well and better than a shared echo canceller for multiple microphones. Then 2001, the extended Audio Perfect, we combined that echo cancellation along with noise cancellation. And it's kind of interesting to think back, we just take things like this for granted now, echo cancellation, noise cancellation. But here we have ClearOne as an innovator. You're going to hear me say the industry's first as we step through this slide. The Converge Pro series in 2007. We introduced the DARE feedback eliminator. The real magic there is that we could transmit audio and receive audio to and from the far end, but we could also do local sound reinforcement and voice lift simultaneously with that received and transmitted audio. In 2010, the Interact series, again, the industry's first USB-enabled business conferencing solution. So as the industry changed, there was ClearOne leading the way. The beamforming mic array in 2012, the industry's first professional-grade beamforming mic array. You might have seen these. We sold so many of them. They're sometimes called the plank. They're this nice long strip mounted on the wall, on the ceiling, the tabletop. That was a real industry innovation. 2016, we updated the Converge Pro, the Converge Pro 2, and that box included all of the, up to then technologies, VoIP, Dante, USB, and improved. That was by then our 6th generation of echo cancellation there on the CP2. In 2020, the BMA 360, the industry's first frequency invariant beamforming microphone array. And which brings us to 2025. Today, it was actually at ISE in Barcelona in February, I think it was, that we unveiled the BMA 360DX, which includes everything that we've been talking about, the ceiling tile mic with the DSP built on board. So that is really exciting. I think kind of almost an unknown history. I think people don't realize how much of a key player ClearOne has been. You might expect a lot of good business from that, and that's absolutely true. Some of our satisfied customers, Google and Disney and Dow and Boeing and so on and so on. Yep, more awards. Best of Show 2025 there at ISE for that BMA 360 DX. So it's getting a lot of good traction. It's an innovation. You might not be surprised. You can see that other list there. I think I'll be sending a PDF of this. We'll make that available so you can have this for your own viewing. All right, so there we are. Moving on. ClearOne, our line up at a glance. So we have these columns here, DSPs and amplifiers. Yep, we have a mini DSP, the Huddle. We have our Converge Pro 2 there, the new BMA 360D DX with the integrated DSP, and so on. Professional microphones, beamforming, ceiling tile microphones, ceiling mic array mics. Those are 3-element mics. Okay. Our Dialog UVHF wireless microphone. That's a relatively new system just here in the last couple of years. We'll talk more about that. BYOD solutions and collaboration devices. We have the brand new Versa 120D. I have one here. I'm excited. We just got this. I can't wait to integrate this into our demo room. We'll see a slide on this just a little bit later. Okay, the Versa UCS 2100. This is a switcher and an extender. We'll talk more about that. Here's a little Dante to USB dongle. You can use our Dante-enabled BMA 360 mics without a DSP. Yeah, how about that? As I said before, we can support small offices. Here are some of our cameras. We'll talk more about those. And here in AV networking, Convergence, the Cloud AV Manager. Now, that's a way for us to monitor and audit and see devices remotely. Now, you might be seeing this and maybe it's overwhelming. And you're saying, oh, this is a lot, this is complex. Maybe you're an IT professional more than an AV professional. Well, I mean, those worlds are coming together, right? So we're really trying to steer and navigate that new space, understanding that a lot of our decision makers are absolutely more in the IT sphere. So we're trying to simplify lives a little bit here. Multiple complex devices. You have your head and your hand, multiple vendor learning curve. Yeah, your integrators are in trainings. Real estate, there's no rack space. Installation time. Time is money. You're seeing your money just pour away from you with an installation that's not going well. So, and sustainability. Yep, that's an important concept in today's world. Our solutions are recognizing this and steering in a good direction here. And what do I mean? Well, you've heard me say it, the BMA 360 DX. That is a plug and play device. And there it is, up there in the ceiling. That's it. Now, what is that? What's so special about that? Well, it can cover a 25 by 25 foot area. It has a built-in DSP. It has 8 channels up and down of Dante. It has a built-in amplifier. And let's just go and have a look. There we are. So it's the beamformer. It has a Dante interface. Audio DSP built right in. It can support voice lift. Yeah, we can take a voice from the front of the room and amplify it in the back using that BMA 360 DX. PTZ camera control. Absolutely, we can steer a camera with audio. That device can do that. And the built-in 4 by 15 watt amplifier to drive 4 15-watt loudspeakers. Okay, it is more sustainable. It's less to manufacture. We're not requiring you to support the mic with the DSP as a separate extended box. It is all integrated. You don't need an external amplifier and so on. Okay. Less shipping. Okay. Let's move on. Now, this is plug and play. We've seen this work. You connect things together, you put it on the network, you provide power, you open the software, it auto detects, and the system is live. Okay. And like I said, it will cover, in that case, a 25 by 25 foot room. But what's exciting is that this product, the BMA 360DX, is absolutely scalable. Okay. Now, everybody likes plug and play, but the downfall of that previously is, something like a media bar, where it would be, at the front of the room. And it does okay, especially in a small room, it does okay. The camera can see, maybe 10, maybe 15 feet away. The loudspeaker can maybe reach out a little bit in that small room. Okay, the same with the microphone. But what if I turn my back to that media bar? Okay, what if I'm a presenter and I'm moving about back and forth? The audio in that scenario really suffers, and the far end is not adequate. So we need something that is scalable. Okay, so that's where this comes in. Here's our BMA 360DX. You can daisy chain, this is network cable, up to 2 BMA 360s. So here we are covering a room 25 by 75. All right. We have breakout boxes. Here we have our USB breakout. Maybe you would have a room PC, a tower PC, but that would maybe be plugged into this first USB box. But you could have a second one of these for a BYOM application. Okay. We also could support analog audio, whether that be line in, line out, mic in, mic outputs. Okay. That's what the audio expander is. That's a 4-channel flex channel system. And the HDMI expander, which would allow for being able to switch between multiple external displays. Okay, now, I know I'm moving fast through this, 30 minutes to cover lots of material. Let's look a little bit at the BMA 360DX. That microphone has what we call frequency invariance. I mentioned this before. That means that any frequency will be captured by the microphone in the same way. Multiple frequencies, what we're seeing here in this polar plot, multiple frequencies are being represented here, 1 through 4K. And you can see the microphone captures those frequencies in exactly the same way. It gives us this very unified teardrop shape, is what I call it. Really, it's almost as if we can see the beam. That makes for superior audio. Your voice is going to sound very natural. The microphone, it steers, the beams will look at the person that's talking. If we could see those beams, it would look just like that, capturing the audio from that person talking. And notice it's only looking in one direction. It's not looking at the reflections and capturing a reverberant room. The room I'm in is quite reflective. What we're trying to do is to give a uniform, unidirectional microphone sound from a single microphone. And we're trying to deliver an interesting feature set. I'll show you some of that here in a few minutes. Okay. Now, we're using our 7th generation of echo cancellation. We've been at this game since 1983, the 1900s, as my kids say. So yeah, we've done this a lot. We've gotten quite good at it. This smart beam, as we're seeing there, yeah, it's going to switch and follow the conversation. Okay, automatic speech leveler. Yeah, that just means that we're going to transmit consistent audio to the far end. That way, a quiet talker and a loud talker, they're going to be delivered at that same volume. Okay, and adaptive noise cancellation up to 25 dB. Now, the beamformers, they are elegant. They provide really nice audio. The battery never runs out like it might on a wireless mic, things like this. They just work, okay? They also support very interesting features. For example, camera tracking. I mentioned before, the active beam. So it looks like in this picture, this person is talking. We can see the beam is triggering. Looking at that person, we can have a camera preset, fire, and look at the person that's talking. And that is being all done through that BMA 360DX. Here we have voice lift. And there's kind of a lot to look at in this slide. But what you're seeing with the colors, here's the blue beamformer. The person farthest away from this blue beamformer is way back here. And you can see we're giving the most sound reinforcement in the back, opposite of where the mic is. So we can absolutely configure the loudspeakers to amplify the voice at a comfortable and accurate volume, just so that we can all have a natural conversation without having to shout and without having to strain to hear what's being said. All right, the DARE feedback eliminator. That's also a part of this suite. It's built into the BMA 360DX. What that does is it identifies problematic frequencies, feedback frequencies in the room, and it notches those out. It's an equalizer, smart equalizer, analyzes the room, and it even works dynamically in real time to pull out those frequencies if any feedback occurs. Okay. So we have some diagrams here so you can begin to visualize and imagine what this system would do. Here it looks like we have 3 of our ceiling tile beamforming mics with the amplifiers built in. So we're driving these loudspeakers. Dante, 8 channels of Dante going in both directions. We could support presenter microphones with those channels if we wanted to. Okay. Everything, of course, is on the network. Then on the P-Link, that's what we call the connection point, that chain from device to device. An audio expander. This is a 4 analog input or outputs. You could have 2 of those on this chain, as well as 2 of our USB expanders. Again, if you wanted a BYOM application along with a room PC. All right. Now, that second bullet point, I feel like I'm running out of time. I'm going to try to move through this a little faster. Wireless. So the challenges with wireless, right? Here we have our UVHF, a very powerful system. This is the 8-channel. Here is the 4-channel variety. There's the access point. This is a Dante piece. Okay. We're going to deliver Dante audio. Here, if you have a smaller installation, you can use a single or a dual channel receiver here. This is our brand new Aero system. So we're really excited about this as well. And you can lock these docks together if you need to expand these out. Okay. Now, our challenges, multi-path interference. And that just has to do with our voices as we speak. The voices bounce around the room. The microphones, they capture audio in different ways depending on all of these reflections. The voice is out of phase, and that's a real problem. We get drop in that case, drop out, and we lose intelligibility. It's very distracting. So our UVHF system, and that's what we're seeing here, handles this very nicely. We have dual integral antennas with spatial and polarization diversity to reduce those drops. Okay, noise floor and interference. Yeah, well, the audio is going to be better if the microphones are closer to the receivers, and that's what these access points are. Note that these access points can double as a repeater. So here we are just linking, daisy chaining these together. The Dante audio passes back and forth. just alleviating that distance. The more distance, the higher that noise floor. So we're making your life easier. This is just network cable linking these together. Okay. Problem number 3, intermodulation distortion. Yep, well, typically that's going to occur when our transmitters are, transmitting on frequencies very close to each other. The UVHF system will automatically space these apart correctly. And with these multiple receivers, they talk to each other. That keeps every channel separate and not creating these ghost frequencies that can occur with intermodulation. Okay. Well, very good. Here are the transmitters, those different types. And of course, you can program these in different ways. So I just want to move along here. I don't want to burn up too much time, but those are the transmitter types. Okay, there's the new arrow. As I said, the single or the dual channel, and you can lock those together. If you need to extend these, we have distributors, combiners, antennas to build that out. But these, they are plug and play. These auto configure. They have a nice 100 megahertz tuning range. And I did look that up, and I think I wrote it down here. Australia, you guys are 520 to 526 megahertz. So you could absolutely use the Arrow system there in Australia. Okay. Our cameras. This is the camera that I'm on. During our demonstration, you'll see this camera quite a lot. That's the room view that I'll show you. That does have AI built in. The Unite 160, this is a USB camera, but it has really nice image and AI functionality. It can follow a presenter, it can frame a group, and so on. And here is the flagship Unite 260. There is the new Unite 260N, which is the NDI streaming protocol. We're really excited about that. This has 3 simultaneous video outs that stream the HDMI and the USB output, as well as the AI functionality is powered with PoE, which is really exciting. It has that CMOS sensor. That I think is what makes it so vivid and bright. Okay, this is a little video. Let me push start here. We'll see a little demonstration.
You will see a new AI section that shows up in the settings that you can now designate an area that you want to track.
Before we define the presenter's area, let's first see the Unite 260 Pro's AI video tracking. You can see even in a large space such as this, the tracking is smooth and effortless. But what happens in a more complex environment where there are more people? Let's imagine a classroom environment. We can track the instructor, but what happens when a student enters the field of view? Will the camera start following the student and thereby completely derail the far-end experience? With the new firmware update, we can keep the Unite 260 Pro in the presenter's area and on the presenter. Now that I've drawn the boundaries around these tables, we can see the camera will follow me inside of that framing that I drew. But as I leave the frame, the camera will stop following me. Now I'm going to actually leave the camera's field of view, but because of the re-ID feature, I can re-enter the field of view and the camera will remember me as a presenter. And to demonstrate that, Ryan will walk in and walk in front of me. The camera will not follow Ryan. It will stay on me, the presenter. And as I rejoin back into the frame, we'll see that, in fact, the camera is still locked on me. Okay, very good. So a demonstration there of the...
you will see a new...
a demonstration there of the boundary that you can draw. We've done that here in this room in a more permanent way, where the AI camera just is locked in on the front of the room for the presenter. It won't veer off and go follow someone in the audience. So that's really nice. All right, collaboration devices. Here is the Versa 120D. This supports external and peripheral devices. So it has 4 USB 3.0 devices, as well as 2 USB-C devices. This guy right here can power your laptop up to 100 watts. It supports 2 external displays. If you're using only one of the displays, it will support 8K. So this thing is really ahead of its curve. It has the network pass-through, and it has Dante channels as well. Okay, the UCS 2100, that is likewise, it is for external devices, USB devices, as well as the receiver can support an HDMI device. So this is really nice. It uses HDBaseT. You can have a nice long run between the transmitter here and the receiver here, and support, in my case, I'm using this here to support my external display that's on the far other end of my room. Okay, that way I don't have to worry about USB extenders and the like. Okay, so just some specs here on the Versa 120D. So I've mentioned most of that there. Let's go on. Most of everything I'm talking about, I think with the exception of some of our cameras, is TAA compliant. I know that is a big consideration these days. All right. Moving along, let's just see how we might connect some of these devices. So there's our microphone for the whole room. If we needed presenter mics, we could support that with the Dante. Here we have our primary and extended display. We're supporting a camera here, and so on. Okay. Now, in a larger room, here we are supporting 2 of our beamforming mics. Okay, Dante here as well. External devices. Okay, here is where we would connect our computer. Okay. We've also included the UCS 2100 here, and that would look more like the room that I'm in. Looks like where you would have a second display, a confidence monitor, maybe on the side of the wall or something like that. Okay, Convergence AV Cloud Manager. Yep, so all of these devices, these pro audio devices, it would be very nice if we could know the health of these devices remotely, especially over a weekend or something like that. We know there's a big call, we just deployed this new system. We could see it remotely and know with confidence that things are ready for that important Monday call. You can monitor, you can control, you can push firmware, you can save off files, you can push new files, and so on with this Convergence AV Cloud Manager. Okay. Some of our success stories in Italy. How about this in Milan? 330 CP2s. Wow. Yep, look at that building. That's beautiful. So ClearOne, we've really had a lot of good success all over the world. Okay, what about this in Bangalore and southern India? We have did this deployment 66 BMA 360s in these nice lecture halls. Okay. Notice all of these are working with Teams. That's at least in the US, that's always a question. Here we are on Teams right now. So yeah, absolutely, this is going to work with any platform. Okay, here we are, and I don't think it says where this one is, but that's okay. Look at that, a tiered amphitheater. We can do so many types of rooms. All right, here are some of the trainings that we offer. I teach all of these classes. As well as Terry Mathis, if you've met him. These classes are worth RUs if you're trying to maintain your AVIXA certification. We'll step you through, in this case, AV conferencing. That's more for our small and medium-sized rooms. We go into cameras and our USB beamforming microphones and systems like that. The Pro Audio class, that is a 6-hour class. That's really where we teach you how to use the Converge Pro 2 system with those peripheral devices, which would include the BMA 360 beamforming mics. And, we're of course, now starting to talk more and more about the BMA 360 DX. So that will be, I don't know, baked into these classes or its own class. So look for that. All right, why ClearOne? Yeah, reduced wiring, single software. And we haven't really even gotten into this. Console 1 is the software that you would use. I did mention that software will auto-discover the BMA 360 DX and any of the peripheral devices, even in real time. You can just click and plug them in. Okay, all right. Let's look at our quote here from Derek Graham, our CEO. We are passionate about something simple yet powerful, enabling people to connect, communicate, and collaborate with excellence. All right. Let's get into the demo. I'm going to stop sharing. And yeah, there we go. And let me change my view here. I want you to be able to see the room. Yeah, and there it is. So let me just drag this over. Very good. Okay, so we'll step into view. As I said, we do lots of engineering and trainings and demos in here. That's why you're seeing so much gear up in the ceiling. These are not all active. You are hearing me through our BMA 360 DX system that we've been talking so much about. And that has the white LEDs. So I have one up here for the presenter. I have a second BMA 360 here, and that's on that P-Link. That's just a nice daisy chain, one network cable. And that's covering the middle of the room. And as I step back here, finally the rear of the room, again with the white LEDs. My room here is 50 feet long. It's 25 feet wide. Now you might remember I said that one of these mics can cover a 25 by 25 foot area. And that is true. We could cover this room with two of these mics. It would sound great. We have the presenter's mic, that third BMA, in place to demonstrate voice lift. The mic captures my audio. It sends it to you on the far end of the call, but it also projects the audio into the loudspeakers in the back of the room. So if you're back there, you'll hear me just fine. It's a mixed minus system. That mic in the back can relay audio up to the front ceiling speakers. Okay, we always like to stretch the capabilities of these mics during these demonstrations. Let me see what happens. I'm going to step out of the room here. What I'm doing here is getting some distance from that nearest mic. It is 20 feet away. So that nearest mic, my audio, I'm sure, has changed slightly, but I have a lot of confidence that you're still able to hear each and every word. Okay. Let me change my camera view. We'll do another thing that we always do in these demonstrations. And what I'll do here is grab another camera. Okay. And I'll step over in this corner. I'll speak in the mic. It's a little closer. It's, I think, about 14 feet away. By the way, you're seeing the native AI tracking on my Unite 260. And it does have that boundary like I was talking about. If I move up here, you'll see the camera lock. It won't follow me into the crowd, into the audience. Now here, regarding audio, I'm going to turn my back to the microphone. Probably it hasn't even changed. It's pretty amazing. I'm going to kneel down, and what I'm doing here is effectively raising the ceiling height, increasing that distance from the talker to the microphone. And I suspect nothing changed whatsoever. It's pretty remarkable what we can do with that. Okay. So let me continue on with our demonstration. How about our beam silencing? It's always a fascinating feature. You remember our beamforming. Our beamforming mic covers 360 degrees around the room, okay? But it's sliced up into zones, into beams. Now, what we can do with this technology, we can attenuate the audio that's filtering into a beam. Okay, and this is great for crowd control. If I want the audio of a presenter to pass to the far end, but I don't want my audience, that noise to pass through, I can enable beam silencing. Okay, so I'm going to change my view back here to that room view. And I'm going to enable beam silencing. Okay. Okay, so I'll step into view, and I need to be sure that I can see what you're seeing. Hold on. Okay. So I'll step into view here, and what I've done, enable that beam silencing. As long as I'm up at the front of the room, I'll be perfectly audible. But what happens when I step into where my audience would be? Okay, I've muted the middle and the rear mics. Okay, now the BMA up here, the BMA 360DX, I've silenced the beams looking in that direction. Okay, just to give you a sense of what I'm doing. All right, so here we go. I'm going to speak. You'll see me clapping, and we'll see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. But as soon as I come back over here, and I'm looking up at my mics, okay, as soon as I step back to the front of the room, I have confidence that I'll be audible again. All right, so that's our beam silencing. I'm going to bring in another camera, and we should see our audio-based camera tracking. Okay, and again, this is the BMA 360DX that is managing this tracking. It's using that audio information. The active beam is tied to the camera preset that is looking at me now. I'll move over just a bit here to a different position. We should see the camera steer and look in a new direction, and there we go. You'll see a little bit of a delay that's actually purposeful. We don't want the camera to be too ultra responsive. We don't want it to look at a door closing or a cough or something like this. Okay, so let me just step over here. We'll do one more, and there you have it. So audio-based camera tracking via the BMA 360DX. Okay. And that's really the central components. Of course, we can, we can do voice lift. That's a little bit difficult to demonstrate. And anyway, I want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A. We have, it looks like 10 minutes. Are there questions? Philip, I think you've been managing the questions. I can't see those, I don't think. No questions yet.
No questions at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that now. Are there questions? We have a good crowd here. Or I can just ask, how does it sound? And I guess I shouldn't expect to hear anyone since everyone's mic is muted. But here we go. Somebody's speaking up. Is the Console One software available? Let me get into the chat so I can see the whole question. For public download now, I don't think so. I think Dave Lambert can answer that more conclusively.
Yeah, so we are getting close to releasing that, so probably within the next few weeks that will be available for public download. And that will just be on our ClearOne.com website on the 360DX page.
Yeah, very good. And probably accessible through the resource library as well. Yeah, great question. Anyone else? Feel free. Griffiths. Griffiths put together our slide deck. It was a great slide deck, I thought. Did I miss anything? Or Philip, does anything come to mind? Or Dave? I see we're getting a question here. That's good. All right, you mentioned the Console One software. Can you give us a quick demo? Yeah, I can. I'll let you have a look at that.
Oh, and while you're bringing that up, there was a good question about tariffs and ClearOne pricing.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we do. I don't.
Yeah, I know Ryan. That was Ryan answering just now. He and I don't really do sales. That might be okay. I see Griffiths is answering. Our VP of Sales in EMEA. So he'll have a better answer than I can. So very good. I'll let Griffiths handle that. That's in the chat, by the way. Okay. There's the chat and the Q&A. So let me check the Q&A here. I'm not sure. I actually don't know how different the Q&A is. Okay, that's in the Q&A. Okay. So Daniel, look in the chat. I think Griffiths is answering in the chat. Okay, I got it. You asked in both places. Okay, so here we go. Here is Console One. So really nice, clean interface. You can zoom in a little bit here and navigate around. So in my particular system here, as I have the BMA 360DX, that's how you're hearing me right now. There's my middle and my rear BMA 360s for that full room coverage. We have our voice lift channels. As I mentioned, those are available with each of the beamforming mic arrays. Okay, we talked about the DARE feedback eliminator. That's here in these red channels. Here we are, this green box supporting a camera. So absolutely, that camera object, that's how we go and program the camera presets to look in the direction of the active beam. Okay, moving along here, I did say that was a mix minus system, so you can see front to rear here, rear to front voice lift. We have our transmit audio and receive audio control here. Speaker control, that's really nice. Just a nice tool for having the ability to turn up the loudspeakers, to turn up the microphones, even if you would want to do that. And over here, we have our loudspeaker channels, the DX speakers, the middle, and the rear speakers. And you can see we're driving 4 loudspeakers from each of those mics. Yeah, over here, we're in the flow view, but this is quite easy to navigate. You can go through and see the equipment, IP addresses, firmware, versions, things like this. Admin, if you need to, and I can click on these, if you need to do a factory restore or a system restart, things like that, there's the firmware. Okay, stepping through to load a new file. Okay, project settings, stack settings, gating groups. Yeah, this is for audio. You would, that Terry, the supervisor of technical training, he is just set to, along with the release of the BMA 360DX itself, to unveil that new training, which I understand should be a 2-hour training for the whole thing. So, again, getting at the, we're making things simpler, which is really nice. Things can get elaborate. So just knowing that you can have some control over a fully scalable system in a couple of hours is exciting. Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention that, Chris, on the flow view, all that configuration, we added voice lift and camera tracking, right? You know, those are kind of custom things, but
Yes.
at least 80% of what was in this project was automatically generated by the units as you plug them in. It's
Yes.
creating a good baseline file design based on the equipment that's attached, and then you have access to change it or add to it. But the idea is when you
Absolutely.
plug this equipment together, you have a working system, and then you can customize from there based on your needs.
That's right. That's right. And we're actually getting ready to upgrade our demo room. We were in the midst of kind of bringing this 360DX system online, and it was our intent to use some of those Dante channels for presenter mics, using either the Aero, that new wireless system, or the UVHF. But here we are getting ready to change rooms, so I don't really have that put together for you. But as Ryan's saying, I mean, it's quite easy to just bring in those Dante channels into the file, and you can even do so live, which is really cool. You'll need the Dante controller, and everything needs to be on the network, and some fundamentals like that. But we're really excited for this new 360DX system. Okay, awesome, good. I know that was a brief tour of the software. Here's the matrix view. You might prefer that. The flow view and the matrix view, they're mirrors of each other, but the matrix is nice just to see that near end and far end inputs and outputs if you're more old school and accustomed to that. Okay, let me stop sharing. We have 2 minutes left. Any other questions? Good questions. Yeah. Thank you, Philip. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I have to say, I thought that was great. Thank you very much. It's certainly, it was a very enlightening presentation for me, and I certainly enjoyed it. So well done.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, terrific. And thanks for everybody for joining us today. And I think that brings us to the end, bang on time at 11 o'clock. So have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody have a good day or a good night if you're here in the US.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thanks
All
a
the
lot.
best now. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.